everyone, welcome back to Real Talk with Jew. I am Jew, and today we will be looking at a vital topic titled Effective Communication in Our Relationships. And Hi everyone, welcome back to Real Talk with Jew. I am Jew, and today we will be looking at a vital topic titled Effective Communication in Our Relationships. A good communication is vital in our relationship because it helps build a strong and healthy relationship. Now let's look at why effective communication is important and how to improve it. Now, what is effective communication? Effective communication is the ability to clearly express yourself, your thoughts, your feelings, while also listening and understanding your partner's perspective. Effective communication is crucial because it helps prevent misunderstanding, it helps resolve conflicts, and strengthens your connection. Now, why is effective communication important? This point highlights the benefits of effective communication. And the first point I have here is prevent misunderstanding. When you communicate clearly, you prevent assumptions, you prevent misunderstanding, you prevent the situation where you assume your partner understands what you're trying to say or what the problem is. Clear communication actually helps prevent misunderstanding. Then, second, here is it resolves conflicts. When there's a problem in your relationship, clear communication, calm, clear communication helps to resolve the conflict faster. You know, in situations where you expect your partner to understand what the problem is, the conflict might extend a little bit longer or result to something more complicated. But in a process where you express your feelings and your emotions clearly and respectfully, the conflict will be resolved easily and quickly. Okay. And number three here, it says it strengthens your bond. Communication is key in relationship, especially effective communication. When um, the communication is effective, your partner, yourself and your partner always feel this, there is this bond and closeness it brings to both of you. You know, there is an experience, a personal experience of mine, um, was always feeling lonely and misunderstood most times because my partner wasn't communicating enough and clearly. So when you communicate clearly, it brings this closeness and understanding, and the bond. It helps the bond to be stronger. You know. Then number four here says it enhances trust. When partners communicate honesty through calmness, respect, and clearly, it fosters a healthy environment for trust. All right, number five says it promotes emotional support. Communication provides emotional support in any kind of relationship. If you are home with your partner and you communicate often, you actually exchange your emotions and you communicate your emotions, which helps the healthy relationship. Even when you're not around your partner and you communicate often, it improves, it shows um, how healthy your relationship is, and it helps your bond grow. Now let's look at ways to communicate effectively. How do we communicate effectively so the next person or your partner or anyone in a relationship understands you, that you're in a relationship with understands you? Number one is active listening. Communication is a two-way journey. It's a give and a take. If you're communicating with someone or someone is communicating with you, acknowledgement and response is needed. When you are not expected to talk, you're expected to show that you are listening. Listening actually helps you respond appropriately to what your partner is telling you or is talking about. So when you're listening to someone, you should show gestures of response. Do you understand? Especially when you're not expected to talk, you should either nod your head or give a feedback. You know, any body movements that would give your partner the understanding that you are listening to them. Then number two is express it helps you express yourself clearly. When you are communicating effectively, you tend to express yourself clearly. You know, you use the I statement, you know, when you are not comfortable with something or when you expect your partner something from your partner, you use I feel or I want, you know. So it helps to express your statements clearly that you want this. And if you are talking to your partner or you're talking about someone else, use they, she, he, you know, just um, helps you make the statements clearer to whoever you're talking to. Number three is be honest. Effective communication. When you communicate effectively, it helps honesty. You know, when you understand how to communicate, um, your express yourself more effectively, you it will help with communicating situations that are even critical, you know, those kind of situations where you feel like the person isn't ready to hear. When you're if communicating effectively, you can actually put every situation into effective communication, and you'll put them down well. You can present them well and help your partner receive it better than um, it should have gone. You know, it helps you express honesty respectfully and calmly, okay, in a way where it's okay and suitable for the next person to receive. Okay. Then number four, it helps you practice empathy. Empathy, like I've always said, is a gift, as well as both side a blessing and a curse. Okay, if you we would talk about empathy in one of our videos where you understand why I always say empathy is a blessing and a curse. But right now we're talking about effective communication, helping you um, communicates with empathy. So it helps you understand where your partner is coming from. In a situation where your partner comes and he or she is not in a good mood, or he or she is upset or enraged, effective communication would help you um, calm them down, be- um, in a way where both of you will be able to resolve whatever it is, and this will help you understand where they're coming from. Empathy actually helps you understand where your partner is coming from and why they are behaving the way they are behaving, so you won't see reasons why you should be angry that they are angry, or you should be shouting that they are shouting. It helps you understand them better. Okay? Then, when you communicate effectively, it will help you manage your tone. There are people where, have you heard where people say, I'm not shouting, this is how I talk, and they are angry, you can hear them shout, and they're telling you, no, this is how I talk. And before you say someone is shouting when the person is not shouting, it means the person doesn't talk like that, usually. Some people raise their tones maybe a bit higher, or a little bit, um, it becomes a little bit harder when they are upset. And they keep telling you they are not upset. And you know from their tone that they are upset. Some people you can hear when they are sad from their tone. Other people you can hear excitement. When they are happy, you can hear it from their tone. So when you practice effective communication, you understand tones better, and you understand how to manage them better. So you won't talk in a harsh tone when you don't mean to, or you will understand that you're talking in a harsh tone when you are talking in a harsh tone. Do you understand? When your partner is saying, "Why are you shouting?" You understand that you're shouting. You know, I don't believe that people that are shouting don't know that they're shouting. I don't believe that people that are um angry don't know they're angry. Maybe they're trying to tell you that they are not angry, or maybe they're not as angry as the you're hearing seem to be. But when you practice effective communication, it helps you understand that you're um taking things out of proportion, or if you're blowing them out of proportion, or you're talking in the tone that isn't needed at that time. Okay, so number 6 is helps you avoid interruptions. I'm guilty of that, because sometimes, especially when I feel like the person is talking a lot of, you know, I should know how to say it. When I feel like the person is talking, you know, what they're not supposed to say, or they're talking gibberish, I tend to interrupt by saying, trying to help the person finish their words, or finish the sentence, or try to rephrase the person, so as to just keep the person quiet, or so as to just end the thing, the whole discussion at that time. I'm guilty of that. But effective communications makes us understand that interruption is actually not an effective way to communicate. Okay, allow the person finish, because sometimes, or most times, I've um, experienced where the person actually wasn't trying to say what I thought they were trying to say. you know, the person might be going to Kano while you think the person is going to Maiduguri. Just let them land, you know. So effective communication helps you not to interrupt someone. Or when you're communicating effectively, it helps you not to get interrupted when you're talking. Then number seven, sorry, effective communication helps you ask and clarify questions. I'm good at that, and I've taught my the staffs at my workplace that it is always good to confirm. You know, always ask for a feedback. Okay, when you ask questions clearly, it helps you understand the person, especially in situations where a client's lack of clarification has put the company and them in trouble. I keep saying, always clarify. Try to say, so we are on the same page, or just for clarification. Do you mean, or are you trying to say, or is this what I think you're saying? So you are both on the same page. and to avoid conflict at the end of the day, where you either be in BC or somebody is going to say that was not what I said. Just to avoid that wasn't what I said, or that wasn't what I said to you, or that wasn't what I meant. Try to, because you can understand things in different ways. Okay, you can be saying one word and it's sounding like something else to me. Okay, maybe because of the way you're phrasing it, or maybe because of your intonation, okay, about what you're saying. Okay, I might just read the meaning wrongly. So when you communicate effectively, you tend to ask questions so you can clarify what the person is saying, and that will help you a great deal. And number 8 here says it helps you stay calm. I'm smiling as I'm saying calm because that is not my strong suit. I stay calm in the face of maybe anger. I stay calm when I'm communicating, or when someone is communicating with me in rage or anger. But I can't stay calm when somebody is being stupid. That I am trying to learn. I will either show it on my face that you're stupid, or I will just walk out or interrupt you. Okay, so I have a very good, I have it good when it comes to my temper. I know how to control my temper very well and stay calm, take a deep breath so I don't mess things up further, especially in your relationship. But not everybody is good at staying calm, especially when they're very upset. And it's now when the situation is now they are now feeling like the victim in the situation, when it is that they are the victims, they can't stay calm. In fact, some villains don't even stay calm. Okay, but staying calm when you're upset, or when you have serious conflicts, helps not aggravate things further. And staying calm too when you feel like somebody is not doing the right thing too helps a situation. It has helped me in one time when I was still um, I think I was still in secondary school, and I wasn't in secondary school yet. It was a long time ago, and one man in the bus I took kept saying he was going to beat me because of change. And if that man had touched me, I would have died because I was very young and there was nobody to fight for me there. Okay. But my staying calm actually helped me very well, because I didn't say a word. Even after he has said so many things to me, I didn't say anything. And at the end of the day, people around started fighting for me because I was calm, I wasn't at fault. And he kept insulting, cussing, and all that. And at the end of the day, I had a lot of people to fight for me. Imagine that I didn't know how to control my temper, or I respond every time someone says something to me. I would have fought my battle myself. But this actually helped because my battle was being fought for me because I was calm. Okay? So, like I said before, staying calm will help you not aggravate the issue further. Okay? Then the next point I have here is be open for feedback. When you communicate effectively, try to be open for feedback. Don't just say what you have to say and move on, or don't just conclude that you understand what the situation is. Try to be open for feedback. Give people a chance to talk back to you. And when you ask questions, be open for feedback. It will help, like I said, it will help a lot of misunderstanding. It will help you prevent a lot of misunderstanding at the end of the day. Why do I say this? Because I've seen like a lot of people um jump into conclusion, or just dive into a situation where they don't have all the details, and at the end of the day they look foolish and they get embarrassed. Okay, so always be open for feedback. If you ask a question, ask again and ask for feedback. Okay? If you ask for a favor or you're sending someone on errands, always ask for feedback. Make sure the person understands you and you understand them. So if they're not going to go, you know that they are not going. You know they will not want to, they will not go. So you don't rely on someone that is not even trying to help you out. You don't depend on the wrong person. It will help you from a lot of heartache. Then number 10 and the final point here is use non-verbal clues. This is my strong suit too. Effective communication will help you learn to listen to what the person isn't saying. It will help you learn to listen to what the person's facial expression and their body language is. Sometimes I solve problems just by looking at the person's face or just by looking at body languages. Okay, so at work, at my workplace, being a leader of a team or a lot of boys and few girls, there are a lot of body languages that I listen to, like I look out for, and facial expression that I often see that helps me resolve conflicts even before it happens. And most times they always ask me, how do you know? How did you know? The fact is, I'm very good at looking at people's facial expression and reading body non-verbal clues. So if you're someone around me, this is like me exposing myself right now, that I'm very good at it. If you're angry with me, trust me, I know. Even if I'm not saying anything, I know that you're angry with me. If you have some ish with me and you're not saying it, from your tone, I know that you have problems with me. From the way you look or the way you move, because I know you. I tend to know a lot of people that I am close to. Like I know you so much. I'm an Aquarius and an overthinker. So I really know people. I watch them and I know them. So when something is missing, when small thing just when there's a shift or there's a move in their body language, I know there's a problem. Then I start searching my mind for where or how or when the pattern changed. Okay. Try to look at nonverbal clues. I'm not saying look at nonverbal clues because you want to start catching people that are not in good terms with you or that are angry with you. I'm saying nonverbal clues has actually helped me a lot. Though um, it will only help when you're close and you communicate very often with the person. So if you have a partner that you feel is not being open to you, if you try to trace back where you feel something, there's a switch or something changed, and you can like trace back where you missed it or something. It just helps. It has helped me a lot of times. Okay. I look at people's face and I'm asking them, are you okay? And I've done an interview before where I was talking to the lady and she kept putting her eyes down. Her eyes were always on the ground. I saw that she wasn't confident just by her body clue, her nonverbal clue. Okay. And I just didn't know why. I wasn't going to hire her because she failed woefully. But the truth is, I knew something was wrong. And it wasn't because she was just looking down. The way she was reacting, the way her body language was, the nonverbal clue was so loud that I just couldn't help but say something about it. And I just said a few words to her. If you're out there and you're looking and you're watching this video, I got you. Okay. So the way she was talking to me, and I knew she was coming from um an abused background or somewhere where she has been abused somehow. I just told her whatever that has been said to you, or however whatever has happened to you does not define you. You defined what you are, you defined what you will be, and your name, what you call yourself, is what other people will call you. And she just started crying. I didn't know where she was coming from. She didn't tell me anything. But from just the nonverbal cues she was giving me, I could tell that something was really wrong. So please, if you want to communicate effectively, also learn to read body language, facial expression. Trust me, a lot of people that are watching this video will tell you, if you find anyone close to me, they will tell you that I listen to nonverbal cues a lot because it has saved me from a lot of embarrassment and a lot of trouble or even danger. It will help you a lot. So that is that for learning how to communicate effectively. Okay, now we are going to dive into the challenges of poor communication. Hmm. So you see, everything we've been talking about, it's just the opposite. Those are the challenges of poor verbal communication, poor effective communication. If you don't communicate effectively, these are what might happen in your relationship. Number one, increased misunderstanding. I've seen houses, in fact, I am coming from where there was a lot of misunderstanding. It was so much that at some points I was checking my mental state. Like I felt like I was seeing things and I was hearing things, and maybe I do things without remembering that I've done them. When somebody calls you a witch and you start asking yourself, "Oh, did I used to fly at night?" Or is it that you can be a witch and not know that you're a witch? When you start asking yourself that kind of question. I've been in that state, where I will see something and I will be gaslighted into thinking I didn't see it. Okay. So part of what the problem was because there was no effective communication. In fact, I won't even say effective communication. There was no communication at all because it looks like I was speaking Spanish while my partner was speaking Igbo. You see how far it is. That's how I felt in the relationship because most times it looked like he wasn't understanding me, and he wasn't even communicating clearly enough for me to understand what he's trying to say. 5 minutes, yes, I want this, and the other 5 minutes, the whole story has changed, and I'm trying to wonder if it was the same story from beginning, but I know it wasn't the same story. But somewhere in my mind, I know that, but the way it looks like I'm the one missing it. Okay. So there will be a lot of misunderstanding where you say one thing and your partner thinks another. So you have to calmly, clearly express yourself so you don't have a lot of misunderstanding in your relationship, especially for couples that are married. People assume that when couples are married, when the man and the woman has stayed for a while, maybe like 5 to 7 years or 10 years. I heard that if you've stayed for 10 years and you succeed in 10 years, then your marriage will stay forever. I don't know how true is that, but we're going to discuss that in one of our videos to come. Maybe we'll have a guest. Who knows? But for this, if you have stayed with someone for a long time, and it means that you definitely understand where and what they like, doesn't still mean that you can read their minds. So your partner still needs to communicate clearly to you so you don't miss it. Okay. Communication is very key, especially effective communication. It is very key for people that are married and people that are in a relationship to um, make their relationship work. So, to avoid increased misunderstanding, communicate calmly, clearly, and respectfully. Then, number two here says frequent conflicts. You will fight a lot. They need to tell person. You will fight a lot because there will be instances where you say, "But I thought that was what you said," especially when the tones are not being managed properly. But the way he was talking, it looked like he wanted to fight. Or why was he even shouting at me like that? Why wasn't talking like that? It was just plates or it was just water. Did he have to say that to me? So if you don't communicate well, if there's no clear communication or respectful communication, you don't use effective communication, it will result to a lot of conflict in your relationship. Then number three is emotional distance. Please tell me, who can be happy in where there is conflict and misunderstanding? No one. And especially communication actually helps relationship. grow. You know, when you just with your partner, you make love calls, and you just on the phone, 5 minutes, your phone is ringing, and oh, is that's my baby calling, or that's my boo calling, or that's my heart rub, whatever name that you call them, okay? You know they are the one calling. It helps you build connection, it helps you build emotional connection, and your love keeps growing. And sometimes it even gives you swag, pride in front of your friends, especially when your phone is ringing and they know, oh, I've seen places where people say, oh, no, my husband they call, my boyfriend they call. It helps you build that confidence that you are loved and you can rely on someone. Okay, so when there's no communication, there's no clear communication, and there's misunderstanding, and there is conflict, and you don't feel emotionally connected to the person, you won't be happy. So you will have emotional distance in your relationship. So please, clear communication helps a lot of things in your relationship. Please and please listen and take note. Then number four, it erodes trust. It helps you build trust. It helps you show trust. It helps you speak trust and look trust or smell trust if there's anyone like that. Okay, so um, when you have, let's say for instance, why I said that was is if you have two people that communicate clearly and they are always communicating and understanding themselves, there will be no reason to distrust themselves, right? There'll be no reason for you to be thinking that something is fishy or something is wrong somewhere. Especially when the person communicates with you constantly, like I said, in front of your friends, they know once your phone is ringing and it maybe it rang now and it's ringing in the next 5 minutes. They know the person that is calling. They don't need to look at your phone screen. They don't need to look at the or hear the voice of. They know, oh, that's so person calling. That helps you trust your partner because constantly, I am not saying that your partner can still cheat while they call you constantly, but the tendency of them cheating on you while they call you constantly is very slim. Ex- ex- Expect, except, is it except or is expect, except the person is is a magician. So the tendency of them or the possibility of them cheating on you when they call you every 5 minutes or every 10 minutes. I'm not saying call your partner every 5 minutes or 10 minutes. So I'm just saying that when they call you constantly, you're in their hearts, you're in their mind, so there won't be any suspicion or misunderstanding in some kind of way, especially when you communicate about everything and you communicate respectfully and you are open to yourselves. Imagine that you communicate about work, you communicate about someone that called you at work, what the person says, and everything. So when you communicate with your partner about everything, it is very hard for you to miss out one or two things. Even if you miss it out, especially when you do it constantly, at some point, you see that when you communicate with your partner and you can't say certain things to your partner, you don't even want it to happen in your life. It happened to me. You don't want it to happen because you can't say it to your partner. Anything that you can't say to your partner that you're scared or you're hiding away from your partner definitely isn't good. So at some point when you build your communication level to a place where it's helping you emotionally and is building your bond, you will see that you will be shying away from certain things that might not make you converse the whole thing with your partner, because especially when they are your gist body. So please, communicate effectively and communicate often. It helps with trust. Then five here, and the last point I have here is it decreases satisfaction in everything I just said. With everything I just said and everything I explained, how can somebody be satisfied in this kind of relationship? There is no trust. There is misunderstanding. We have arguments and conflicts, and the emotions are not there. So there won't be satisfaction in any relationship that has all these things. That all these things are you know, are in, all those things are showing up, that we have all the signs, there won't be any satisfaction. Then, lastly, here, let's look at of the signs that you are communicating effectively. What are the signs that in your relationship, the communication in your relationship is effective, and the way you speak to people, or the way you talk to people, or you communicate to people is effective communication? Number one, you will understand them clearly and they will understand you clearly. That's the first sign. If there is effective communication in your relationship, you tend to understand yourselves clearly. Okay? There is clear expressions, there's clear understanding, and there is clear communication about feelings and emotions. Then number two, you listen very well. There's active listening. Your partner listens to you and nods or responds, and you listen to them and respond when they are speaking. And trust me, if for those people that pretend that they are listening when they are not listening, we know. Hey, we know, because do you know how we know? It is not magic. When I am talking about shoes and I'm talking about bag, and in the midst of talking about these things, I mention one or two people, and I have mentioned those things, especially for women. Men, please listen to your wives when they are talking. We know when to chip in something that you are supposed to respond to, and when you don't respond to it, we know that you are not listening. Do you understand me? So always listen. Please, it won't take you anything to listen. Like, I'm saying this because I do it sometimes. I zone off, especially I think they said that's a quality of a man. I don't know how I got it, but I have a tendency of zoning off on you when I'm not when I'm not feeling you, you know and that's after reading and making research on effective communication. I'm trying to see how I can stop zoning off. I don't do it consciously, so people that zone off too don't do it consciously, especially when you're blabbing a lot. They just zone off. Okay, they zone out on you. So please, try as much as possible to interact. If you're such person that tends to zone out or zone off on someone, try to interact more. So when you're giving like constant feedback, like "oh yeah," and you see that you start enjoying the conversation, and you listen better, and it will help you respond when it's now time to respond. That's how we know that you're not listening, because when it's time for you to respond, you don't respond completely, or you don't give a complete response to everything we said. Then when I start reminding you, so what did you think about? What do you think about? We know you weren't listening. That's why we are reminding you and asking you what you think about. One will be giving you in phrases and in stages. Okay, so if you're those kind of people that don't listen actively, please try to, because it will help your communication a lot. Then, how do you know that your relationship has effective communication? Point three is mutual understanding. You tend to understand your partner, and your partner understands you. You know, people wonder why some people understand yourselves that much. It's because they practice empathy. They tend to try to understand where your partner is coming from. And when you understand why someone is reacting the way they are reacting, and why someone is speaking the way they're speaking at that moment, you tend to not take things, or take things too personal, or take it out, blow the whole issue or the whole conflict out of what it's meant to be, or out of proportion. Okay, what am I trying to say? In situations where your partner is upset and you don't feel like it's needed at that point, if you practice empathy in your effective communication, if you practice empathy, you tend to understand. You don't really understand, you just tend to feel where they are coming from. Okay, so there are situations where I'm going to say this because it is part of the reason why men feel like they can't understand women. Okay, so most times women are very good with nonverbal cues. I'm going to talk about this thing, fully talk about this topic on a full conversation. Okay, women are very good at that, listening to what you are not saying. So when you feel like your partner is angry or upset, please practice empathy, especially for men. If you feel like my wife is just angry and there is no reason, I didn't do anything, you did something. At some point, somewhere, you've done something without you knowing that you've done something. So please, always listen and practice empathy. That will help you resolve certain conflicts for those men that loves their wives and their partner. Mm. It will help you trace back where you missed it. Okay. Then number four, it helps you practice um, respectful interaction. Okay, so your relationship, if there is respectful interaction in your relationship, know that your relationship has effective communication, where no matter what you do with yourselves, you don't disrespect yourselves. I have seen people where partners where the man would ask the woman, "Am I your mate?" Okay, it won't happen to me. Yes, I've been asked before, am I your mate? As who? As what? Just because I was trying to stand up for myself. And I was trying to stand up for myself because it didn't look like what was going on was going to stop. I had to stand up for myself and speak up for myself. And in situations like that, sometimes I had to be rude, to just show that I wasn't okay with what was going on. Okay. And I've been asked questions like that. Okay. Please don't let your relationship get to the point where you have to be rude, disrespectful, or say bad things to yourselves. Because every word that falls out of your mouth is like an egg that you break or you fall on the floor, cracked, and you can never get it back. Even if you pack the egg back, you try to gather it back, you gather it with stones and sand or some other things. So that's how your words are. Okay, it can't go back. You cannot undo it. So please be careful and try to practice effective communication. Then, lastly, here it will help you resolve issues. So, if you know a relationship, you resolve issues fast, quick, and respectfully. If you have resolution of issues and conflicts in a very good way, if you don't dwell on issues and you don't stay on conflicts, it means you practice effective communication. So today we have heard, talked about all the things you need to know about effective communication. We've touched how you should practice effective communication. We've touched signs that your relationship um, is has effective communication, and we've also touched ways to communicate effectively. So please, viewers, I'm sure that this video has taught you one or two things that you don't know. I'm sure that you've learned one or two things in this video. I would urge you to practice the ones you've not been practicing, because knowledge is power only when the knowledge is being put to use. And this is a very crucial topic that every person should listen to and practice. Okay? So thank you for listening to me today, and stay tuned. Please, if you've not subscribed to my channel, don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our videos. Thank you and have a blast. Bye.